Hey, 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 hey. It's low energy. It doesn't sound like low energy, does it? Sounds like mid-tier energy. How to do, what to do, what to wear, what to how, what to thought. I don't know. Hope you're all doing well. I am here for the next probably hour, longer if we're getting good vibe. I'm just gonna chill and talk to you with my lamp. My lamp is very lampy. Doesn't want to turn on because I have no idea how a lamp works. So yeah, I'm just going to share this, and I'm also going to share this on Discord as well. Again, I do apologize about the stream earlier, which I should say backfired. Not stream, the update. I got the other update up. Other update up. Nick is off at work. I uploaded those two videos. I could have uploaded more. I'm leaving them till tomorrow because I got nothing but time. So I want to ration doing work. Not rationing my beer though. I got like 12 cans in there. Always got for more later, but there's nowhere to walk to around here, which fucking sucks. But that's America. That's the Midwest in particular. Shitty camera, I know, but hopefully you guys can hear me, which seems to be my biggest bane right now. Blah 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 blah. I have enjoyed Indianapolis, but unfortunately, you guys will not be seeing the Indy Speedway because we spent all of yesterday bouncing around a few places and then going out for sushi. Well, I got sushi. Some of it's still left there. So, alas. I've taken plenty of footage of Indy, though. Obviously, I won't be uploading the Indy footage until I'm done, but it has been good laugh so far. I also have. I promised Nick I'd show off some of his artwork. I was originally going to do that just for one person, but I think I'll show off. I think I'll show off some of his art. So we'll do that tomorrow. Probably not a live stream. I'll use the GoPro, get really good quality. Here's a little taster though. I know you guys can see it. He's been right. I've been drawing since I knew him. Since the day I met him. Always taking his stuff as shit when his stuff is fucking amazing. So yeah, I also put it on Discord as well. So main thing I've been doing on this trip is just spending time with Nick, and I'm really enjoying it. I've known him for about 15 years, through ups and indeed downs. But I'm also looking forward to getting eventually out of here. In the back of my mind, my feet are already starting to pedal on the spot. Chicago in 2 days. My cousin in LA is giving me all the information I need. He's actually up near Griffith Park. I thought he was in Echo Park, but there you go. So I'd like to see the Griffith Observatory when I get to LA. Then Portland, then Seattle. Then I'll backtrack. I don't know if I'm going to go to San Francisco, but I'd like to. I'd really like to. Be on the pricey side, but what are you going to do? Discord, of course, is being super slow, so you're going to see some lag. I do apologize. This laptop can do 2 or 3 things at the most. Uh, uh-huh. I spent today, after I done editing up those videos, catching up with a lot of videos that I have been kind of neglecting. I'm still way behind on DP and DFF, but the rest, yeah, the rest. There we go. Okay, I think that's Discord enough. So, so let's see. Last time I streamed was Cleveland, so you probably want to know some updates since then. Best example for Cleveland since then was I went from Cleveland straight to there we go. Best example would be since we left Cleveland. Not Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland. I stopped up in Columbus for about an hour 40. So I went to the Beercade. If you follow me on Instagram, there will be you'll be able to see just that was there. It's a really cool place. Really recommend it. 16-bit it's called. No Wi-Fi, oddly enough. Interesting. But the beer was cheap because it was on happy hour, and the machines were fantastic. Very classic. Even had a few SNESes put up onto big TVs that you could play like Super Mario and shit. On my way back, some guy tried to fleece me out of money. Hey man, I got $12,000 in my pocket. I just can't go in there and get smaller notes. Oh really? Let's see it. Sure thing, man. Goes really like behind it. And when I started saying like, dude, what the fuck? Oh, it's because I'm black. And you know what? This hit me. Yeah, scammers. Every single scammer says I hate was black. So fuck that shit. But it wasn't because he was black. It was because he wasn't a good scammer. And he knew it because eventually he fucked off. But the rest of it was pretty good. Boring trip in. So of course I took tons of footage. Actually, take that back. The driver in the front seat. I was like the one behind it in like the disabled one because it was so empty. I want the extra leg room, and it fucking hell, she would not stop farting. I mean it. She was just tooting the whole way down. When I got there, Nick was there, and we went to get Steak and Shake. That was pretty cool. Never had Steak and Shake before. And then off I went to have a sleep. But then the next day, we went around Bloomington a bit. That's where I'm staying right now. And after that, we went out to a club, or at least we were going to go to a club. And we got there, and the skinniest bitches you've ever imagined. Like, my God, I suddenly felt like a slightly curvy teenage girl. I felt so self-conscious. They were like completely dolled up to the nine. They were having a special party down in the basement. The whole thing was cordoned off. So went to a craft bar instead, which is more my scene anyway. And there was a guy playing there. We got craft beer. We got more craft beer. Christ, we got very drunk that night. It was great. Nick might be short, but he can put that shit away. Finally, I meet an American who could fucking drink. After that, next day, yesterday, we went up and about and did not much. Went up to the airport. I changed some euro into dollars. And after that, we went and got sushi and Today, well, uploading shit and watching YouTube videos. But Wednesday, my plan will be we will go to. He'll take me up to Indy to grab the Greyhound, and from Greyhound, then we will get. I'll get my way up to Chicago. I'm staying at the Holiday Jones Hostel, which I have no idea where it is in relation to the station. Probably need to grab the subway or whatever. If it's at like New York subway, I know the gist of it now. Then 2 days after, Omaha. I'll be spending a week in Omaha just chilling with Ashley and Steve. And then Denver for about, well, 3 days, but one day getting in, one day getting out. And then LA. And from there, we make our plans back. I'm flying out on the 20th. Texas is off the table, unfortunately, as is most of the South by the looks of it. Reason being is time as well as money. But the West Coast is still on, and I can still get down to New Mexico. I think after New Mexico, I will bolt back to New York. Maybe even direct, which would be fucking insane. Well, it's New Mexico, Arizona, that sort of area. Yeah, but Portland will be good. LA will be pretty cool. I've never been to LA. I've never been to the West Coast. It's going to be fucking amazing. But cool. I forgot the Discord notifications. Off you go. Phew. Yeah, so this trip has been very exhausting in some respects, but because I've been stopping off every few days, it has been doable. I've adjusted to it. Kind of live on the Greyhound bus now, which everyone says is shit. The only thing I cannot fucking stand out of Greyhound, not counting the homeless people outside or any shit like that, is I cannot stand from the Greyhound the fucking goddamn outlets. You put your plug in and it falls out. It just falls out all the time. So you try to charge this shit or your phone or your GoPro or anything when it's on. Fuck that shit. Back home, when you jam something into the wall, you need to often just pull it out. Like you have to really yank it out. It wedges in there, and that's what you want. So it's something you normally think about. Let's see. It's been cool watching the landscape change as well, very subtly. A lot more churches now, a lot more. Do you need Jesus everywhere? No, I don't think I need Jesus. I really don't. I tried him once. In college, you experiment, and yeah, he's not for me. But I'm looking forward to getting into like the real Bible Belt area, just so I can film it. Maybe even see some crazy religious shit. Been eating a lot, or at least I've been eating. It feels like I've been mostly eating and Instagramming and taking pictures of food on this trip. This is the first time I've actually bought like groceries, and they're sitting up there. I'll be doing that in Omaha. Great way of saving money, and great way of not having to get out of the apartment when you're moving around as much as I am. Portland will be a good laugh. Carmen wants to meet up with me. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to finally meeting her daughter, Winter, and her boyfriend. I forget his name. Adam. Seems like a cool dude. I'll only be there for like 3 days, and then Seattle for 3 days. And Seattle will be a bit on the pricey side. I mean, the whole West Coast will be. On the way back, I still could meet up with Luna. I have to reach out to her and see if she's interested. I'd love to meet up with Luna. Also, big shout out to Faith and Marshall for sharing my video in the last one. Go back to the Buffalo one; you'll see it there. Um, yeah, after this trip, after I hit the West Coast, I'll have to start turning my eyes, and of course, going up and down it. The only place in the West Coast I really won't be going to will be sexy. Will be San Diego and possibly San Francisco, because I can just bolt it there direct and I don't have to do it. And I still haven't gotten a haircut yet. Like, fuck that shit. Let's see. I've been really, really, really enjoying the sheer amount of traveling I've been doing. But my fucking Christ. I was crazy to think with the resources I had, I could do it all. And then I go and I spend as much money as I did in New York. I basically got rid of all the glut I could have spent enriching myself by going to different places. I spent that so fucking early. And now I've only got my emergency money each week. Yeah. But I can do this shit because the flight is welcoming back and I've got a hostel lined up in New York. So I basically need to survive and get back to New York. So after I come back from Seattle, that'll be it. That'll be it. I'll then turn my eyes eastward again. I mean, if push came to shove, I could get a flight out of LAX to Dublin. On the pricey side, but I could do it. Probably not. I'd have to check that out. But yeah, I could definitely do that. Beyond all that, though, I'm really glad I've taken this trip. And I think what I'll do is, when I get myself back on my feet, when I'm back over in Ireland and I make some money, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down back to the south, do the entirety of the south. Instead of going from west to east, I think I'll go maybe north to south and just do the entirety of the coast, like the Gulf Coast. That'd be really cool. What I really should have done, honestly, was get a flight out of landing in New York and then a flight out of LAX back. But, well, that was stupid on my part. I can still pull off Dublin, though. Paddy's Day for New York. That, I think even getting into New York is going to be fucking chaos on that day. I'll probably not be able to get into Manhattan and just, make do with, I don't know, probably somewhere in Long Island where my hostel is. I'm getting the same hostel as the first time. They were nice. They were really conveniently located. I think it's one of the nicer hostels I was on. I definitely really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're watching this, you know what the timestamp is because we just had a few ghosts so far. No likes or anything. But when push comes to shove, I'll probably end the stream if no one shows up in about, I don't know, quarter to half an hour. I don't know. I'll play that one by ear. I was honestly hoping for more interaction with my American fans, considering I am on your timetable. But a lot of you, of course, are working right now, so there's that. That's not to say you're obligated to do jack shit. I'd love to be able to talk to you, but I mean, you're off doing your own lives. Same goes for my Irish fans too. I mean, obviously, I'm on a completely different timetable now. She was completely on the other foot. It'd be cool if I actually did get to talk to someone from Ireland and it's like, hey, it's 3 a.m. But yeah, the timetable hasn't been too bad. I've been really enjoying this so far in that regard. I've been paid 3 days is the minimum without it feeling like too much of a rush. Cleveland, for example, yeah, there was more I could have done in Cleveland. I went to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was pretty cool. But I could have also gone to the convention center across the street. Did I go? No. Why? Because I went back home. I went back to the hostel and I talked to some people. I did get the West Market though. That's pretty cool. Cleveland was all right. Toronto was really cool as well. I didn't get to see. I think I go in the CN Tower, but you know what? The CN Tower, $60 to get up to the top. That's more expensive than the Empire State was. So I imagine it's pretty expensive to go up to Seattle, the Space Needle. But I did get some nice footage of the CN Tower. We drove right by it. So you'll be seeing that in the Cleveland video to start off, from place to place. I really should have put it in the Canadian video. Yeah. Yeah. I always hate the dead air. But I've also got so much to talk about. I need to fucking think. So, oh Jesus, here's something that fucking happened. We almost killed a person. Nick picked me up at the station. Very good timing. He was just pulling in, so I was just pulling in and hopped out. Said hi to him. Hopped in the car. Drove around the corner, and as we drove around this corner, this tiny, tiny little woman went about as far as, I don't know. Here's the car. About maybe this close. It was so close that thank God for his good brakes. Thing was, it was green for us. So she stops and stares at us and goes, hmm? And what keeps on waddling. Did she not care that she just get run over? I mean, I'd care. I was just off a fucking bus for like 4 hours. I wanted to get some sleep. Or in that case, some steak. Not some steak first. Yeah. Also got a Wendy's as well the next day. That was the first time I had a Wendy's in years. What mediocre food. Went to Kroger to get all this food that we got in the fridge now. That would be. I got like bare bones enough to survive. I should have been really doing this more of this trip, but I'm enjoying myself. And one thing I don't like about this beard is that it makes me look like a far chubbier cheeks than I actually do. Well, there is one person I suppose I can introduce you to. That's Miss Kitty. But the only way to draw out Miss Kitty is with a bribe of cold luncheon meat. So let's draw out Miss Kitty, which is not a metaphor. Let's put this here real quick. God diddly daffodil. You're not gonna see my sexy legs honed from days worth of travel. You will see a kitty cat. Hey Bill, how you doing? Just gonna show you Nick's cat, which is currently beyond my power to show you, but that will soon change. He'll be back at about 10, I think. Kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. I got you some luncheon meat. Does that not sound glorious? Well, there you are. Founder. Dictator cat. Come on out. Finally got to pet me. Pet me. Start petting me. Okay. Meow. Come on, kitty. Are you down meat? See? Yep, there you are. There you are. Ham. I got you some ham. Ham cat. Epic battle between man versus cat. Kid, a whole slice of ham. You probably didn't know his actual food. Woo. There you go. Got tons of cheese, tons of ham, but not enough bread, so might as well. You want it? Yeah. You want it broken up a little bit smaller. Meow. Yeah. She wants it tiny bits. I think she's called Miss Kitty. So I'm calling her. So yeah, first day I got here, would not even look at me. Yesterday, managed to get a single rub before ran away. Today we were playing on the ground, and now she's being camera shy. Oh, don't be camera shy. You keep looking at your new piece of meat. You're not going to get your new piece of meat. You're going to get your old piece of meat. Welcome back to Low Energy Cat Stream, where you watch a man feed overly salty pork to a cat that isn't his. Ashley and Steve's cat, so much more shy. I've known that cat for about maybe absent for Jesus 6-7 years now. Every time I meet up with her, still runs away. Does not give me the time of day. You're a better kitty. Who's a better kitty? You're a better kitty. At least you acknowledge my existence. All right, here's the rest of it. Make it into a little pile for you. There. You better eat all that. I'm going to clean up after you. And because I'm a horrible person, I'll have one for myself. They said don't eat any pork over in America, considering the horrible things you're doing. But you know what? Fuck it. I want to live like an American. I might as well eat the horrible food. Oh. Mediocre. Not getting any more. You got all the food right there. Don't you eat such tiny bites? Also very self-aware of the camera. That's right. That's you. That's you. Magic. Okay, I'll put the ham away. Leave Kitty to her own ham-based devices. We can get back talking. Also, desperately trying to find a bloody light that's still on that I can turn on. The lamp there doesn't seem to be working, or at least I don't know how to make it work. But you better not leave that there. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there for the random person who's a guest in your house to clean up, huh? That's just typical. Some sort of host you are. Now another. I'll clean it up then, I guess. Do that after the stream. So yeah, so far the trip's been alright. Can't say I've already got one open. Great. Can't say I have been seeing that much of a problem. The only thing I can't stand with America is that you guys, there's nowhere you can walk to. Like, the great thing about Ashley and Steve is they're right by a mall. If I get bored, I'll go to that mall. You'll come with the mall with me too. I'll bring this laptop. We can have a stream in the mall, assuming the internet won't break down like it did in the hostel in Canada. You gonna watch the big game? I don't know who's playing. I actually should. I should go and watch the only sports I've been watching in American bars has been the whole Kobe Bryant thing. I watched the Grammys and more of his remembrance. His remembrance stuff is fucking everywhere. Good, Kitty. You eat that so I don't have to clean up after you. But I really should go to a bar at some point and just watch a game. I was outside the Cleveland Browns stadium. That was pretty cool. It's right next to the Hall of Fame shit. Everyone in town was saying that the Browns are gonna. It's their year. I'll take their word for it, I guess. Go Browns. Tons of people have been telling me. Tons of people are telling me this, that, and the other. Also, Nick doesn't have a TV. Like many modern people, he doesn't really need it. He doesn't game all that much, and he's got a very cool looking PC in there. So I'm guessing he doesn't need to see it, and he doesn't really watch sports. So maybe when I'm in Omaha, I'll try to catch something. Go to a place that has like $2 drinks. And before you say that's a joke, I've been to bars that were selling this piss water for $2. So, I will go to a little corner bar shit with a big flat screen with ESPN on it. And I'll watch it from start to finish. And I'll play up the accent. I'll play up the Irish accent. Be like, what's that? What's he doing then? Is he the one that kicks the goal? Why is he holding it onto his hands? Where's the ref from? Play up my paddy to the hills. I want people to like me, not throw bottles at me. Unless they're full bottles. In which case, yoink, drink. I have to reach out to Jay. I actually already reached out to Jay. I haven't heard back from him yet on the plan. You see, like me, he's got options. He can go up to Denver, which is possible. He can also now she went through half the ham. Either she's full of ham, which is bullshit because you were demanding nothing more but my ham earlier. I'll put it in our food bowl. But yeah, you can go up to Denver, you can go over to Tucson or Albuquerque. So, you know, one of those is doable. I think he wants me to come to him, which makes more sense. I wouldn't blame him. But we'll have to see how I'm doing for time. I mean, it won't take long to get back to New York. I can do that in 3 days from LA. Not cheap, mind. Um, a flight from LAX to JFK is 99 currently, and I imagine you can get it cheaper. A bus drive from LA to New York is 120. That's dollars now. I can do both. And the great thing about the one with the LA, that's 3 days where I get my own accommodation. I'll basically be on it. I'll have to be sure that my bag is full of clean clothes because I'll be stinking at the end of those 3 days. Um, but I think that would be kind of cool. Reaching one end of the country, I just bolt back from the other. But I can get back to New York from any of the cities I mentioned there. Um, it'd be kind of interesting to see how that pan out. What I really need is just like a game plan to fix with. I think it shouldn't be too hard because I simply, if I can't afford something, whether it be time or money, I just can't do it. But so far, I can still afford everything on my list. It's just at this rate, I'll have to cut ties. For example, I hate to say it, I don't think I'm going to end up going to Atlantic City to see Ninja. It, but then again, I'm not going to go to Baton Rouge, or I'm not going to go to New Orleans. We're not going to see Stripper Boy. Remember? He's on the corner. Oh no, Stripper. That makes me feel so sad. Like I said, we're going to go through the South. We're going to do this all over again, and we will be glorious. Whether it be next year, which would be brilliant, or the year after, we will do this. Oh no, I'm all out. If only I had another beer. Piss water. Um, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this trip has shown me a lot of America, but I'm not doing any of the places justice. Like, I went to Cleveland, I saw Cleveland. It was interesting. Like I said in the previous stream, it was very black. I wasn't expecting that, and I wasn't minding it. I know a lot of people in Ireland will be like, "Ooh, would you look at that? It's like we're in Africa." Again, I don't know why I give them like sort of 1940s housewives from London. Um, but I'm also looking forward to getting to see these places, even once. I mean, I stopped off at Erie and I saw how big Erie was. And Erie's tiny by your standards, but our standards, Erie's fucking huge. Look at Cleveland, it's just a sprawling metropolis. I mean, who the fuck thinks of Cleveland? I mean, I found out people in Indianapolis, they'll come up to you and they'll just start. If you give them an inch, they will just tell you something really cool that happened that day. They're very chatty, very friendly. I like that. We went to the airport to change some money. We got some advice from the cops there just to where to go because their one was closed because that's stupid. I even got to see some footage inside in the airport. That was pretty cool. Um, but they just talked to us about shit, and I thought it was really cool the way we were just chatting about whatever. It is strange that there was no currency exchange open in there, so we had to go to like this fancy mall on the other side of town, where I actually, frankly, got terrible exchange rates. I'm not gonna lie, their commission was nearly 10%. I mean, I've had worse. I've had 14%, but they knew they could get away with that shit. So I was kind of looking at them going, I need the money, not the drama, so I'll take it. Uh, oh, there was this really cool guy. He was in a O'Shaughnessy's or something like that to play. Or Charties. It doesn't know. It's like a steak place. Got myself some ribs. It was nice. But what I liked most about it was the guy who cooked this food came up and asked us how we were doing. And I was actually thinking that American like service industry. Here's a huge difference between Europe and America. They even used to make fun of it on like really fancy like Eurovision and shit like that. CNN Europe used to have this ad that was very similar to this. The your waiter comes up and they start talking to you about their lives, and they start asking all these personal questions. They start making sure every 5 seconds, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" Um, in Europe, you can just be left alone until you want them here. But this dude came up and asked, are we enjoying our meal?" I was just finished anyway, so I said, "Yeah, sure, it was great. Yeah, I wasn't bothered all that much." And he just, I don't know what was brought up, but suddenly he was on talking about his recent trip up to Alaska, where he was hand fishing salmon, and like he showed pictures of it, and we were like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. These things are massive." Um, so that was kind of an interesting experience, but in other places, like last night, there was this Asian girl kept coming up to us every 5 seconds. "Do you need anything else? Do you need anything else?" In the sushi place, and we're like, "No." First of all, we're like, "Yeah, we're all right," or then after a while, we're like, "No, we're fine." And I was just there like, I'm thinking like I'm in the middle of a conversation, she's in the middle of a conversation, he's in the middle of a conversation. Let's stop and tell them fine. That's just the bullshit we have. That the difference. And it's not all bad. I've had great conversations with people. Got some great advice back in New York, I think it was. Um, we're getting a lot of ghosts tonight. Seriously, guys, say something in the chat. Not that you have to, but would be appreciated. Uh, so tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another stream like this in the evening time, or earlier or later. It really depends. And I will. I might use Streamlabs. I've been setting Streamlabs up, but it slows this laptop down to god heavy levels. You're gonna get two more videos. That will be Cleveland. Oh shit! I can't give you two more videos because I'm in. Yeah, so Buffalo, Toronto. Yeah. So I can't. I don't think I have two more videos left in me. I got one more video left in me. So you're gonna get the Cleveland video anyway. And if there's anything else I find I can whip together, I will. And then we're going to do a stream. Oh, you're getting another video anyway because I want to show you off all his art. See, they're all piled up there. He's desperate for people to have a look at him. He's got a massive pile of folders over there. He has been working for years. He's done amazing work over the years. I'll show off some of his stuff while you can talk about it. And any publicity is good publicity. So I'll upload that. That'll be something different, not so me focused. I mean, I know it's my channel. I know it's a travel vlog about me wandering across America, but I've got no problem helping others. One thing I found in this city: don't bother calling a cab and don't bother calling an Uber because Uber cabs, they're really not guaranteed to show up. There's one rank around here. It's called like Red Tire, and we were waiting an hour before he showed up. He kept saying that he got lost over and over again. Then when he got here, he said it was because some old lady was just annoying him. But then the Uber app wouldn't work, so it was just we were getting plastered on like cinnamon vodka and vanilla Baileys. It was grand. It was great fun, but it wasn't. It did kind of put us like in a bit of a mood. We were ready to call out mountain bullshit. When he arrived, we were just there like, ah, You know, we've got the ride. We're gonna get there. We'll be fine. Um. Oh, the opposite. Do take a cab in Cleveland. If you're in Cleveland, take a fucking cab. They're like they won't go higher than like $10 to get you into the inner city. Like the inner city area, if you need to get from one side of it to the other, $10. But if you want to, grab the bus, only 250. And get this, they have shuttles going around that are completely free. There's only 4 or 5 stops, but it might make all the difference in the world. And all you have to do is just ask where you're going, tell him where you're going, and he'll give you advice. So I would highly recommend checking that out. Uh, I've also noticed when I've been traveling, it's always been at night. You know, it's always been at night. Um, or at least it starts off evening time and works in. That's just the time of year. Maybe when I hit LA, it'll be a little bit brighter. I don't know. It's weird. I haven't even halfway reached my goal of where I need to be to get back. But get this, I'm already pondering my next trip when I don't have the luxury of a next trip because when I get back to Ireland, I have to find a new apartment, which means a good old fashioned deposit, which means I have to find a place to stay where I can raise up the money for a deposit. I don't know how to pull that shit off. That'll probably be April, May. That'll probably be my. I hate to say it, that's probably going to be my Streamlabs down the corner. That'll be what that is. It's like helping me along to get my deposit down. Right thing is, I have enough money per week to make it happen, so it's not so bad. I'll get in, I'll put my money down, and then get myself established. I'll pick up my computer, bring it back to my place, and then we'll probably reinstall all the old games and settle down to save up to our next adventure, you know? Or maybe not. Maybe I'll get into Dublin and have a new plan. Maybe I can afford to go down to over to the UK. That'd be great. I'd absolutely love to go over to the UK, no questions asked. I'd really like to go over and see my Uncle Paul, my godmother Adrian. Haven't seen her in a few years. I'd like to see. I'd like to just wander around the UK, but prices on like Euro, Euro. Oh yeah, well Brexit. Jesus Christ! No wonder I mentioned Euro. Brexit. Oh my fucking Christ! I'm worrying about like, oh no, I haven't seen the Onision shit. I don't know what that's all about as of late. Who's this Wolf guy? You know, like why are people asking Billy for demanding Billy make an apology and blah blah blah. I'm not. In reality, I should be like coronavirus, terrorist attack in London today, Brexit. It's kind of a big deal. We for a while we didn't think it was going to happen, and then we thought it was always going to be pushed down the line. So 11 months from now, it's already happening. It'll be complete in 11 months. So January, January next year, the transition, whether Britain likes it or not, will be complete. I don't know how it's going to affect me. Maybe I should have applied for my dual citizenship. How the fuck would have that worked? Fuck. Well, I've already got my dual citizenship. I need to apply for my dual passport. But anyway, you know what I'm going to do after this stream? I am going to go and whack on Oblivion of all things on this. No, Daggerfall. I'm going to play me some Daggerfall and forget YouTube and America and all this shit. It'll be glorious. I'll turn off Discord, put my phone on mute. Actually, no, I won't. I'll put a documentary on. One of the documentaries I have not watched, probably Invicta, something like that, or maybe Elder Scrolls. Fudge Muppet did a thing on Elder Scrolls, what they want in Hammerfell. And I'll go to Hammerfell and I'll wander around Hammerfell and it'll all be 2D sprites with these weird 3D graphics. I'll be like, yeah, I hope one day I'll be able to see it. I don't know. I do not know. What I do know is I've got some leftover sushi for tonight. I don't think I'd have it any later than today. Saying that he's got some bloody salmon in there from the first day I was there, and he hasn't finished that yet. Creepy. Ugh. Nick has been so cool. We've been pretty. We were pretty tight originally, and then we kind of had to fall out, and then we're kind of. We just started talking again, but he was like, "Dude, I've been missing you for so long. What the hell? Come back!" And yeah, yeah. I was not expecting the warm welcome I got. And that's the thing. If I'm going to say one thing, slightly tipsy, because I've been drinking all day on America, is that I feel so much more confident here, and it's probably because I'm always so fucking welcome. Even the crazy hobos grabbing my arm, demanding a fix, or you know, limited resources and time, all that shit don't mean nothing because I'm genuinely having a good time when I'm here. And I want to have a good time in the future back here. It doesn't sound surreal, but I'm already kind of missing in America. I'm already kind of missing America. I'm not even halfway through. I keep thinking like Ashley and Steve are going to be the end of it. No, they're not. They're the halfway point. I'm so proud of myself of gotten this far. And everything's all lined up for another time. I've enjoyed just talking to people. I've enjoyed seeing sights. The food has been really great. Some of it more expensive than others, but I haven't had a bad meal. I've had an okay meal at the worst. Sometimes I went like, yeah, there, same as at home. New York hot dog, big jumbo hot dog. It's the same as back home, but you get it a bit cheaper and it's big. Yeah, we'll go to Chicago and they'll put like what did it? Don't they put like ketchup on it? Not that. Like wow or ugh, or meh. Doesn't matter. And I'll be taking pictures and I'll be uploading videos. This GoPro has paid for itself. Not literally, but it is so justifying its existence. And I'm also really glad that today they've been cutting down a tree outside there. Nick waddled out and he was like, "What the hell are you trying to kill me?" Like we got to bed about no, that was there. We got to bed about maybe he got about 5, and they were doing that about 7. So he works at nights. He works up in a hospital. Oh, I might actually call him after this and see if he's okay. This work hasn't been crushing him like a sack of rocks. Also, apparently, Ninja uh, has said that he was blocked from my stream, but it makes no sense. I haven't had the luxury of time to block someone. He hasn't done it to block worthy, and he's not on my block list. So I have no fucking idea. If anyone has any idea what's going on there, I'd be appreciative. I'm gonna see can I trick the cat into eating the food again after this as well. He's gonna come back, and I'm just gonna be sauced. He's the he's the um he's the dad. I'm the mom. He's working hard day to put food in this table. I stay at home. I say I'm gonna do a hard day's work, and I end up just like getting absolutely like shit faced on like cheap booze and watching shitty TV or YouTube videos or reading blogs. Why don't you do something with your life? I am. I am learning how to be a better goddess. Okay? It's a spiritual thing. You wouldn't understand. You're so angry. You're so bitter. Don't worry. The makeup sex is great. I can attest to that. Well, I'll tell you, the Irish accent's got me far here. The second I mention I'm Irish, everyone perks up. I'm not unused to this. This is my bread and butter. It's again probably one more reason why I'm so I'm so confident over here. I can join in on any conversation. It's weird. It's so psychosomatic. If I can do one thing for myself when I get back home, I can bring this fucking goddamn confidence over with me. Oh, it's got a like. Thank you. I'll tell you, I can't wait to get back, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. And if I were to do this, if I do the next one, which would be the South, and I pull that shit off, say land in Washington and go all the way down. Hey, Rose, having a party here right now. Was going to end it, but I was only going to end it because there isn't that much conversation. I got on with time. Hope you're good, my dude. I'm currently waxing philosophical about how I'm a very different creature over here than I am in Ireland. Ireland seems to beat me down. Over here, I'm kind of like, top of the morning to you. Which I haven't actually put the accent on other than for a joke, and the joke's always landed, so. Ugh. This beard does no justice to my cheekbones. I look like the sad clown that Picasso painted. Anyway, yeah, we tomorrow I will upload those videos, and I'll do another live stream. That'll be pretty cool. And as for Tuesday, I don't know. I'll probably give you a live stream at the very least. I mean, after this, I'll have Indy and Chicago, and then after Chicago, I'll have Omaha, and then I'll have a week to kill again. But Ashley has been taking time, is saying she's taking time off work. So, you know. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow, of course, we will be advertising Nick's superb art on this channel. He will describe his pieces. Not those sort of pieces. That's 18 plus, and that's on Plex Storm. Plex Storm, where anything goes, except for racist comments. I really love this picture. This took him years to do. You can't really see it. Don't worry. GoPro tomorrow. You'll see it. You'll see it grand. But yeah, I'm currently I still have to clean up a little bit, which is great because for once I actually have very little to clean up. Anyone who's ever had me come over. Speaking of Ireland, decided to have St. Patrick's Day into February because Valentine's is trash and goddamn St. Patrick doesn't get enough recognition. At least not where I feel. Yes, St. Valentine is like he's an obscure part of history at best. St. Patrick's is kind of too. Bridget and Columbus, St. Columbus, I think his name is. He did far more to spread Christianity than Patrick did. Patrick, of course, did his part, but we've idolized Patrick. And Bridget was probably never alive, actually. She was probably a combination of a couple of real-life nuns and their fake god, all gods are fake. Their Celtic god, Riga. But that's all like that's obscure Irish. So of course, sorry about that. So of course, was Patrick sexier? He would have definitely been fitter. I will say that because he was a slave for a very long time, and a slave needs to know how to work backbreaking labor one way or another. He definitely would have also come from more money because he came from a pseudo Roman family out there by Wales. Because Saint Patrick was of course Welsh, something the Irish don't really bring up much. They wouldn't have even been a Wales back then. They would have still called themselves Roman, even though all the Roman legions had left. But yeah, St. Patrick's Day is like it's a very huge celebration, and you can thank the English for it, believe it or not, because without English persecution, Irish wouldn't have doubled down with hardcore alcoholism to celebrate it. Because traditionally, St. Patrick's Day, which I've actually celebrated St. Patrick's Day traditionally, which the Irish don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day traditionally unless you're an old farming family out in nowhere, involves us baking a cake and really, really tart cake and going to mass and then watching a parade that celebrates Irishness, which is where the parade comes in. The drinking comes in. The idea is the celebration. Ireland needed no excuse to become a nation of drunks. Especially when we are famous for being a country full of potatoes that makes some of the most potent alcohol in the world. Not the most, that's Everclear. And you motherfuckers make that. I've had that. You're not meant to drink that shit. You're not meant to drink that shit. But Poutine, no, not Poutine. Poutine is the Irish equivalent, moonshine. Poutine. Real poutine. You get in some country bars behind the bar, and you don't ask for it, you're offered it. And you get, and like they have it in like little glasses and shit. But the you can go to the airport in Dublin and you can get poutine, which is knockoff, and it's like 50%. Don't get me wrong, 50% alcohol will fucking fuck you up, but you're paying a massive amount of money for a fake product. Meanwhile, here, as in Bloomington, I went up to Nick's local liquor store, and it was just a sea of alcohol. The FF needs to say Patrick's Day, and if they don't say, they hate the Irish. Yep, absolutely. I spend too much time trying to worm my way into the DP group. I need to start my hardcore assault on DFF. I can do that probably when I get back. But yeah, they need to do a St. Patrick's Day episode because at the end of the day, they all get drunk to varying degrees. I notice TJ gets very sloshed on wine. Paul is known to have beer. And Scotty once got sick in the DFF studio because he's a little pussy boy, and if once he can prove me wrong. I'm in his country. He can make that shit happen. Get in touch with Jay Darkay. He could be the middleman. Actually, Chelsea. Chelsea follows me on Instagram. If you watch this by any chance, hi Chel. But no, they're all very familiar with the ancient tradition of getting crunked. Ever had green beer? I sure have. I've had every form of green beer, including backwash green beer. Because you drink your pint when you know you've had enough, and you're so drunk that you're now sweating. Like a lot of times, Irish people, like in old cartoons, Irish people, like when they're shit-faced, or just general drunks when they're shit-faced, they always look wet and sodden. That's because they're sweating, because they've had so much liquor that their body is just pumping out sweat. Happens to me in New York, back when I first landed. But you have too much to drink, and then you have far too much to drink, and then you knock it back, and then you get sick inside it. And then whatever drink you had is suddenly turned green. I've also had obviously more traditional green drinks where they put the food coloring in. They charge more. We don't do that in Ireland. I'll tell you what we do on Paddy's Day. We put little shamrocks in our Guinness. You know the way the coffee um, espresso artists and things like that, the coffee artists can make that shit happen. Well, all you need is just a particular type of tap thing, and they pour it, and when it comes up on the top, it's got the thing. Okay, green Christmas beer, assuming there's a thing green beer for St. Patrick's Day. No, it's the exact same coloring. You know, it's I like the Shamrock Shake. You know, you can make the Shamrock Shake at home. It's not just mint. If that's the case, that's like one of the most un-Irish things. But you know, it's all gimmick. You know, you put your green on, you go fucking batcha. In Ireland, Americans come over and we fleece them fucking dry for revenge for every time we go over to New York and you fleece us dry. So I'm looking forward to, if I do end up in Dublin for Paddy's Day, which it won't happen. I'm either going to be somewhere else in America or I'm going to be in New York. Hopefully New York, because I'm got in the next few days I'm booking off the hostel there. So something will hopefully have gone right, but most likely have gone wrong if that's the case. But I will be absolutely adamant that like I go to a bar and these drunken Irish guys, the Americans are like, dude, you're Irish. Wow. I'd be like, that I am, mate. But you know, prices in this city are crazy. No, man. We got you. Do you know? You know, like a little bit of fucking payback, you know? This country has drawn me dry. What? That'll be a true Irish shake. Also, you get your brawl on. You do not need Paddy's Day to have a drunken fight. And you know what? 9 times out of 10 in Dublin and in the countryside too, a fight in a bar, in a pub, results in like talking, a lot of shouting, swearing. The barman and the bouncer comes in and out you go. It's all talk. Now, the one time there is a fight, yeah, that shit goes down. That shit fucking goes down. But then, you know, you go to Boston and that's like Tuesday. You just see that shit. Well, I'll tell you, this is no joke. And Irish people will hate to admit it. Or maybe they'll like to admit it because it means that they're more adults. But if you want to fucking see a drunken brawl, you go out on the weekend to a London city, like a city like London in the UK. Like those fuckers, like yobs, you go around to a fucking pub or a club, young gobshites, you looking at my bed? Having huge fights, glasses get thrown, faces get smashed in, incredibly expensive salmon shirts get fucked up. Bunch of lads who during the day work in like fucking offices and shit. Yeah, they're gonna end up with fucking blood all over the face. Dublin, sure, that happens. That happens a lot, and it happens with rich people, poor people, country people, city people, Irish, not Irish. But it's no. I mean, I once fucking bit a guy's scalp. Like, that's so rare that I remember it. Americans, I'm sure there are places in America where that happens every fucking day. It's just not the culture I remember. Yeah, I know you don't. I just figured they're more significant that way. Oh, sure. It's a hell of a talking point, don't you think? I'm gonna go grab more beer. Seeing that we are on the topic of alcohol, I might as well get more of this fucking piss-ass Miller. And I'll take Kitty's ham, because Kitty's ham is not getting eaten, and put it in Kitty's food. Kitty, you so silly. More beer. I like going to the toilet every 5 seconds. Kitty's in his room, just sleeping away. They have to pay people to fight for them. Rich people persevere. Reginald, give me my slapping glove. Oh no! I mean, I imagine rich people feel that they can get away with bringing like tire irons and shit. They might have never used it to fix up a bloody tire, but they'll use it to fucking clave in a head. Because they've got venting too. I was actually talking about this with Nick not too long ago. Honestly, like when I was getting my money changed in the wealthy in the mall, the very fancy mall, we would go and we'd look at all these rich kids, and I'm like, they're rich as fuck, and they have no idea. Like there was a fucking Tesla store inside the mall with the cars all lined up. It was like so rich. Was it filthy rich Asians or whatever? Stupid rich crazy rich Asians. That's the one. And a lot of them were Asian too. But like they're not bad people. They're just they don't know any. They grew up with like this, but they have their own bullshit they got to deal with. And I absolutely guarantee you, outside the country club, more than once, people have gotten their noses broken in. At the outside, like the fancy cocktail bar that you need like to put 50 in just to walk in the door, unless you know you're one of us. Absolutely, I guarantee you. Now, they're going to be like really smashing, using your teeth, headbutting people. Probably not. But it's there, and you'd be crazy to think otherwise. Now, when those two worlds combined, that's the thing. You know, that's the birth of an 80s sort of fish out of water film. Hey, you don't belong here. You need to get back into the maintenance area. No way, man. Your girlfriend, she likes me. We'll see about that, poor person. Guys, go get him. You don't want to fight me, guys. I beat the rough part of town. You know, like, and then he somehow turns into a karate expert. And then one of them might have like a switch. No, they wouldn't have a switchblade, but he might have, for example, like, oh, he'd have like maybe brass. Oh, he get his belt. He get his belt and turn it into a knuckles. But you know what? If that belt connected to your face, you're going down. Whether it be Reginald or whether it be fucking Cletus, you're fucking going down. But yeah, no, fighting was never a huge issue. It was always there. I remember one time over a fight over a girl, some bikers overheard in Fibber McGee's, and yeah, that guy apparently was eating out of a tube for a while. The bikers just kind of took him away that night. Because that macho sort of like, you know, you don't cross a line. And I think if that's the case, that's not toxic masculinity. That's just sort of like vigilante justice wrapped in an era of like, you don't do that to a girl. Because the Irish had no problem with that. That's actually something weird. Irish and Italians seem to have no problem with like domestic abuse on that degree. Like the really sort of like ghetto sort of things. That's always almost like half expected, especially over in this country. It's weird. Dollar Ninja. That's to say, a ninja covered in dollar bills throws sharp change. Fuck yeah. Oh god, I don't know if I've told this story. This guy I knew in Games Workshop. It was about 23, and yeah, he was about 23, 24. I think he was like a year or two older than me. So whatever. He showed up, and it was his birthday, and he wanted to go. He rented out a limo, and we were like, "Wow, cool!" So we all got ourselves, you know, as well-to-do as we can, and he pulls up, he collects us, and we drive to the poorest part of town, which is Ballymun Flats. Which The projects. That's basically the projects. And we're driving around this roundabout in this limousine, a pitch dark night. It must have been like 10 or 11 in a housing estate. And he hands us these sacks of pennies, worthless, maybe a tenner altogether. So a lot of fucking pennies. And he opens the door. And he gets on the rooftop. Sorry, he gets on the rooftops. Is driving around, and he tells us all to start flinging it out the windows at the cars and the houses. And he starts screaming, "Affluence, affluence for all!" as he does it. And we're throwing it kind of like half arsed. He is belting these motherfuckers. Car alarms were being set off. I think he broke someone's window. And eventually the car drove away. The limo drove away after the first house light came on. Like, that's how late it was. People were fast asleep. He applied for political office a few years back. I heard. He ran for political office. I think also he was dealing with the fact that he was either bisexual or gay. Dude, I'm sure that was a very stressful. He invited me out to a gay bar once, the gay bar, the George. I've mentioned it before. Before I'm dead, you guys will see the George. I feel very comfortable in the George because it's a Dublin staple. It just happens to be the bar that gay people were allowed to go to, and it became the default place. But it's also one of the last places to close at night, so everyone ends up there no matter what. That's caused some chaos. Now, you want to see some fights? The bouncers there will kick you out if they just think that you're not suited for it, let alone if you have any cause for problems. But yeah, like I went to the he wanted me to go to the George with him. I almost lost my train of thought. And he basically said that he likes to get hit on by men. He's not interested, but likes to get hit on by men. And he thinks I'd get hit on a lot because of my bareness. Now, he's not wrong. I got hit on this channel so many times by men. It's nothing I worry too much about. It's nothing I can really return, but, as long as they're not douchey about it, which has happened on this stream. And he ends up basically streaming. He ends up telling me that, like, I would do well in the George, but he knows I'm like straight. And at the time, I wasn't quite relaxed around gay people, so I was kind of like more like that. I didn't know any better, although I really should have. So eventually, he just went like, "Oh no, I want to go, but I can't." And I'm like, "Dude, just go by yourself." And he says, "I'd probably end up fucking a dude." And I was just thinking, fuck a dude. It's clearly something you want to do. That was the end of that conversation. Is there a the for everything? Like, instead of burger, of a burger, there is the burger. Well, that would apply to the first burger. So the guy who made the first hamburger, who was in America, I forget where. Did you think he'd become gay? No, but I think I'd be hit on by dudes and I'd feel awkward about it and I'd feel cringy. I didn't think that I would become gay. I just felt that I would be like, I'd be out of my comfort zone. It's like going to a imagine if I was going to a fucking like a Black Lives Matter one, like a really racist Black Lives Matter one, the ones that's been distant from the group, and they're screaming like "fuck Whitey" and shit like that. Yeah, I'd kind of feel a bit out of place, but I wouldn't suddenly pop like an afro out of my head and be like, "Yeah, fuck Whitey, fuck the police." No, I'll say fuck the police, but that's because I know the police are corrupt as shit. You think? But no, I wouldn't think I'd become gay. I never actually thought that just being around gay people made you gay. I thought sometimes that like gay people got too clingy and touchy, like the real campy ones. I still kind of do, actually. Just wear blackface and you'll blend right in. Oh hell yeah! Maybe get myself some big fake lips, giant fake fro. Bring around some fried chicken, watermelon. Hell yeah! scream every once in a while, where are all the white women at? Reparations. No, I never thought anything like that, but Dark Egg Corruptions. Hey there, Jay. It's a party forming. About time. About time I have a sit down in America and talk to people. I'll be doing well, mate. I'm getting very jarred talking to people about shit. It's pretty cool. Christ, if it does not rain. If it does, I can say that the I can say that the rain is whitewashing me. Nick told me more than once that, like, if I was going through the South, which now is off the table more or less, well, no, not the South, but like the real South, out the sort of Tennessee places. I should put away any of my sort of pride flags things, and I think he'd be right. But I'll deal with that if I ever come back to like the real South. So where are you at now? I am currently in Indianapolis. Well, I'm outside of Indianapolis, a place called Bloomington. I like saying that, Bloomington. I'll be here until Wednesday, then Chicago, and then Omaha for a week. Chicago will be there for 3 days. After that, it's all west. Denver's next up, then Vegas, then LA for a week. Then I want to head up to Seattle, stopping off in Portland, maybe backtracking through Reno, maybe backtracking through San Francisco, maybe going straight back down to LA. And then I want to head to see Ryby in Arizona. And then I think that might be the trip. It is indeed. But when I say that might be it for the trip, that means I'll be then bolting back to New York for the rest of the trip. So it's not quite the trip. It's just like for the rest of my time there. But yeah, so far it's still on the table. Texas was off the table today. Christian, who I was going to hang out with, called me and said she is currently in Baton Rouge. So unfortunately, I don't get to see Texas. But that, again, is making me think maybe one day I'll return and do the South. The whole South. So I've done the North and the South. Although technically, I still would have crossed all of America and back. So, yeah, New Mexico is still on the table. Sometime in, I'd want early March because my flight's on the 20th of March back out at JFK. So I have to get back in time for that. So early enough March. At the most, I'll be seeing Ryby the first week of March. That can be done. That can be done. But yeah, if you want to if you want to head up to Denver, if you want to head to Tucson, you want to head to or if you want me to come over to you. That last one is probably the trickiest, but still not impossible. Buses are cheap. Accommodation depends on the place. Basically, I'll be able to tell you next week what the whole thing will be. So right now, though, it looks still pretty promising. When are you in Denver? Okay, that one I can tell you a fairly educated guess. So let me just bring up the calendar. I'm leaving here on the 5th. I'm leaving Chicago on the 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Probably the 12th or the 13th of next week. I'll be in Denver. And I'll be there for 3 days. So the 13th to the 15th. And then Vegas for the same. And then I'll probably be leaving the LA on the 25th or the 26th. and then up to Portland, Seattle, backtrack to LA, and then down to there for early March. I've got 3 weeks to see in March. 3 weeks to get back to New York. Well, we still have two other options to meet up. So if Denver's off the table, that's fair enough. You did say it would be a hell of a trip to get up there. Well, it wouldn't be a hell of a trip, but it'll be enough of a trip to like really you'd have to plan it. So it's not exactly the end of the world. But New Mexico and Arizona are still on the table. No more Texas. All right. Then nature calls because I've been drinking piss water. I've been drinking Miller High Life all night, by the way. And the only thing about it that is High Life about it is that it was cheap, and you can twist the cap off. Rather than me using my power of my mighty teeth, or a ball cap like a normal person. Yeah, I need to get piss, so I'll be right back. Fuck Texas, you don't wanna? I wanted to try some fucking Texas steak, and I also heard a great thing about their brisket. And before you say you can get that elsewhere, it's true. But it still was kind of like a place I'd love to see. But hell, I could have spent 3 months in Texas. I would have fucking hated myself at the end of it, probably. Right. Let us go to the bathroom. Burp. Try Utah. You know what? It's either you or Bill, who's from Utah. I was thinking of instead of doing that, instead of going to Reno on the way back, stopping off in Utah. But the thing is, Utah, like the thing is that if I had to flip a coin, I think I'd have a more fun time briefly there in Reno than I would in Utah. Not from like the company, but just the sheer amount of small amount of time compared to all the things I could do. Plus, Luna's there, and let's be honest here, if I put her on a thumbnail, more people will show up. Pitmonk knows this. Pitmonk fucking knows this. But it would also, I'd then have to backtrack all the way down to LA again, and yeah, no. Utah is for family. Yeah. Well, when I have family, I would not say no to going on maybe a nice nature. Isn't Zion Canyon in Utah? I wouldn't say not seeing that. You can thank New Vegas for that. I'm um, I'm becoming increasingly aware that I'm about to enter the unknown for me. But then again, I've never been to Buffalo or parts of New York. I've never been. I didn't been to Long Island when I got there, and then I went to fucking Long Island. You know, it's fucking crazy. Um, yeah, but that is southern Utah. Well, I'd make the day trip. I'd make the whole day trip if we could pull it off. I mean, I'm not much for hiking, but if I was actually going to Utah, I'd give it the time it deserves because everywhere I've gone to, I've not given the time it deserves, except maybe Buffalo. Even Buffalo, now thinking of it, there are some buildings I wish I'd have taken pictures of. There's this one that's like these two pillars, and they've got these winged angels on top that glow in the night, and they look beautiful. It's really nice. It's surrounded by, well, you saw the Buffalo video. Everything's constructions and abandoned factories and warehouses. Um, did enjoy it though. Went that Templar, that Tudor bar was pretty cool. The hostel I was in was great, but it was falling apart. It was very much falling apart. Jack's videos is thinking of going up to Niagara. Something I didn't do. I could have at any given time. The first day, I'll tell you exactly what I did when I got in. The first day, I dropped my bags off, went next door to a place called Hearth and Stone or something like that, sat down, got a big pizza, a beer, and I watched about half of Billy's live stream where he's going to the Elysium court hearing. Um, I know shit hit the fan after I left, but it was still hitting the fan as I was watching it, and I was transfixed. After the craziness in New York, I just love that. Day two, I hung out with Marshall. Was that in the evening? No, that was the evening. Evening, I hung out with Marshall. Um, Day two, fuck did I do day two? I spent hours talking to this British dude. All right, I've got a story to tell you. Here we go. I want to go an hour and a half before I can really tell you something cool. So, in Buffalo, in High Buffalo Hostel, um, there was this dude, and I spotted him once or twice. I think he even makes a very brief appearance in the background of a video. Uh, the Buffalo video. And he's from the UK. He's been living here for about since '84. Now I'm born in '88, so he's been here for a fucking long time. He can still pick up his accent. He actually he served with the Navy, and yet he's not a citizen. Weird that. He wants to move to Canada. We talked about everything. He moved across America like I did, but he was doing it like drips and drabs. I'm bolting it across America in comparison. And he told me like tons of stuff about Seattle. He lived in Seattle for the longest time. He told me about like crazy nights out in clubs and like these old warehouses that were converted. That was really cool. Um, he was like a really, really cool dude. He said he'd sub to me. I don't know if he did. He probably had a look. I've got a lot of that, by the way. I've got a lot of I will sub to you. I'll check you out. I haven't, but I mean, I was expecting that for God's sake. Like, most of them can barely remember my name, channel name, or otherwise, you know. Uh, oh, by the way, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. There, I finally remember I have to shill. It only took an hour and a half. But no, he was really cool. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because, oh my fucking Christ, there was a guy in my room. There was this motherfucking guy in my room. It was like a big room, but it was pretty empty. In one of the other bunks, the far end. He was, I swear to fucking God, the spitting image of Jeffrey Epstein. I really fucking mean that. His face was so similar to Jeffrey Epstein. But that was weird enough. That'd be something to go like, oh, okay, whatever. The reason I'm mentioning him is he was obsessed with his belt in his room. When I literally came in, he was there just so Jeff did get away. That's why everyone who I told said that must be where they were being hiding him. But he's obsessed with his belt. I'm thinking maybe he has like a little piece of paper inside it that has like a bunch of like rolls out and has a bunch of his last remaining little children, little girls you can call. But He come in. I came in, and he was on a chair, and he was just taking a belt off, putting a belt on. Okay, cool. He did that 3 times. He then left. I wanted some sleep. I started to drift off. 20 minutes later, he came back in, putting on the exact same belt he left. I was like, all right, whatever, fine. I didn't care. But he would just stand there going, or sit down and make the same noise. Like he just breathed through his mouth really heavily. And he was obsessed with the contents under his bunk. He'd get down to his haunches and look at all of it. And one day I was curious and I checked 2 pairs of socks and a half full bottle of mouthwash. He must have gone to the floor 5 times thinking someone would steal something. Meanwhile, I had just littered my entire bunk with everything I had. There were pieces of paper, there was like fucking ads from New York, there was receipts from Blanchardstown back in Dublin, I think. I found a fucking Starburst, and I was very happy with that. And the point is, like, the dude was just weird. Now, the reason I bring him up, he was annoying. He was very annoying. But you live when you're in a hostel, you have to get used to that. That's just something you have to do. Normally, you have to deal with loudmouths. Maybe you have to deal with someone stealing something, like he was thinking that I was gonna do. Maybe. Well, oh, those are some really nice socks there, buddy. But the reason I bring him up is because I was talking to this English student. He was so fascinating. And what's more, we were having a conversation back as well. And then suddenly, Jeffrey Epstein walks in, right? And if someone shows up at this particular point and doesn't know the context of why I'm mentioning Jeffrey Epstein, they might think that I'm literally talking about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to fucking roll with that, even though I've ruined it. So, Jeffrey Epstein walks in, and he's got like this cheese on toast. That was a great kitchen. They stocked it full of bagels and this huge, beautiful loaf of bread every day for anyone to have. And that's the sort of shit you want on a hostel. You don't have to pay. If you're in a hostel, you're trying to save money. Don't pay for food. Um, I must have had about maybe 3 of those fucking bagels. I was hungover as all shit. So, not out about 5. What am I saying? um, so I'm talking to him, and there's no one else in the building, like no one else in the common area. I had gotten a 6 pack, and we were sharing it, and it was this really nice moment. And he walks in, he sees us talking, he gets up, walks like a fucking zombie or Frankenstein over, stares at us, doesn't eat his food, doesn't sit down, doesn't talk, just goes. Now you know he wanted to say something, and he didn't. Why? I ain't got a fucking clue. I'm awkward too. I'm very awkward. But the last time I did something remotely like that, I was like 13. This guy was probably in his 40s, maybe his early 50s. So we sat back, we actually both stopped and stared at him, which was a cue for him to say something, anything. And we just went back to talking, like, okay, that was odd. So we went back down, he ate his cheese on toast, he left. We were like, all right, whatever. He came back in about 40 minutes later, stared at his seat for the longest time that he had sat in. Again, no one had sat there like that. This time he had cereal, he sat down, and he was watching us talk the whole time. He finally left, and I looked at the English guy. He was really chill, really relaxed, not very judgy. And he just went like, "You get that sometimes," and he's right. You do get that sometimes. Like I'm used to crazy, as in like old ladies shouting at their shopping bags full of like shoes, or you know, government done stole my teeth. But like, no, buddy. Don't be Jeffrey Epstein. And now you got 2 contexts for that. One context is far more important than the other. But now you have two contexts. Don't be Jeffrey Epstein. Can't believe low energy videos has to tell you that when he's getting shit faced. But there you have it. But yeah, he didn't ruin that trip for me. Neither did the crazies in New York, including Spider-Man with his Hispanic accent and Batman with his fucking Polish accent. It was like this tall on me. You know, like someone's elderly dad trying to be Batman for their kids. And I saw Spider Man's junk there in Times Square. That was, yeah, shame. I saw this like Batman walking around and Iron Man. They look fucking cool. I would have partied with them. Woo! Oh my! I have made my beer happy with my mouth. It has it has released all over me. Mm, mm, cool. I want to call you daddy. It's official. Low energy video swallows. As if you didn't know that already. I'm a fucking slut. Um, but yeah. Well, clearly the alcohol's working anyway. What's the point of buying all that beer if I'm not gonna fucking get drunk off it? At least I'm not paying fucking New York prices. Oh my fucking Christ on a crochet set. What the fuck was up with New York prices? Food was cheap. Like an amazing bagel for 250 with any toppings I want. A fucking hot dog or a slice of for like $3 and a soft drink. A fucking amazing slice of pizza for $1. Booze. Oh, you can go into a store and get a can or whatever. But like going to a bar, 8, 9, 10, $10 for a fucking Bud Light. Now I know Midtown is famous for being overpriced, but even in my hostel, God bless them, they're good prices in comparison. But Jesus fucking Christ, those were over the top. What, the Buffalo, the pizza place next to me? No, sorry, that was Cleveland. Cleveland, whoa, internet lag, internet lag. There we are. Um, the guy around the corner from me in Cleveland, the Citizen Pie. Cool picture. Very cool. It's like if TJ had become skinny and was really upbeat and became a pizza guy. Like that was like I can get a pint of this for $2 on their tap. What the fuck? So Midwest prices aren't too bad. They're entering Irish prices, which are to me normal. When I go to Omaha, they'll be lower. And of course, you guys don't pay anything for spirits, so you can get a fucking massive bottle of vodka for fucking $10. That is just yes, please. I'm gonna buy shitty beer and we're gonna buy shitty vodka, and one night we will all go out and get smashed. And I will have no problem to look for the bottom of the list. That's someone else's buying. Then I still will pick the bottom because I don't want to come across as a fucking mooch. But this fucking country, like standardization in Ireland consists of 1 or 2 quid the difference on average on anything, except maybe property. Property that skyrockets and plummets depending where you're going. And even what we consider plummeting, you'd be considered the most expensive shit in the world. So my older people who might end up watching this might remember a time I told when I was on Riley Jenkins' Rabbit stream, and there was this American dude who was obsessed with Ireland. So what happened was that he ended up doing. Oh, my ring's out. Back in you go. I mean, oh no, that's not. That's the oh. thought the chain was too long. Yeah, so he was obsessed with Ireland, and he thought he could get like this great, amazing looking farm out in the countryside in County Clare for like 450,000 because Ireland is depopulated because of the famine, and there's all this spare land that's just going to waste on an island that's famously rocky, so all land is valuable, and we're on an island, and our population has been growing. So I just went like, okay, so it's going to daft.ie, and his 450,000 was not quite the 4 million needed for what he wanted. He actually sighed. I heard him give a big, massive sigh. I kind of burst his bubble, and I'm very proud of that. Big shout out. Anyone who has Irish heritage in America who turns around and says they're Irish is fucking bullshit. All right, Rose, you're asking a very important question. I will respond it with a story because I am fucking Abraham Lincoln and I cannot give a straight answer. By the way, he asked, "Have you? I have to ask, have you or have you ever thought you saw a leprechaun, even if it turns out to be a ginger Irish?" Now, what I have done was Temple Bar, college, mid 20s, with my dealer at the time, who was also a good friend in college too. Pub next door to it, Eamon Doran's, now gone. It's called the Old Steakhouse. Eamon Doran's was great. Old Steakhouse is shit. And next to it was a pizza place. Pretty damn good pizza. One of the best in Dublin, frankly. Not the best, but pretty damn good. And we'd gone in to get some pizza. So we were standing in line, and there was this three California girls. I think they're from California anyway. They sounded pure Valley. They were blonde and they had tan, possibly fake, possibly not. I don't know. Kind of looked fake. Looking back now, I don't give a shit. But they were stereotypical as New York American tourists get. So I forget why we started talking to them, but they actually asked, quite honestly, straight face, are leprechauns real? Now, my friend was Dublin as fuck. How about Starry, Deadly, Massive, Javiano, Onion, Sky? But me, I wanted to fucking play with him. So I said, yes, but not in the way you think. Leprechauns are actually the original inhabitants of Ireland, a pygmy-like tribe that live out in the west in small enclaves, kind of like the Aboriginals in Africa, in Australia, and the Americans have their own reservations. They have small little reservations. They don't need much. They're very small. That in the Middle Ages we kind of believed had magical powers. Now they're protected under law, but they're very prone to alcoholism. And there is a trick that a lot of people do when they go out west is that they will put a bottle of whiskey out and a leprechaun will show up. Now, their tribal chiefs tell them, no, you don't want to have the tall man water. The tall man water is bad for you, but they'll still drink it anyway. Because, they're alcoholics as a rule. And people will capture them and take pictures of them. And it's kind of like cow tipping out in the countryside. She bought that hook, line, and sinker. I said, if you see one, do not, I repeat, do not make a big deal. and do not look them in the eyes. It is a huge disrespect. Either she was playing me, being so fucking dumb and American and blonde, and I wouldn't kick her out of bed, but I don't think she'd. I don't think she'd be much to talk about on like political climates or maybe economic policies. Um, but yeah, she basically bought that as far as I. No, girl, 20 at most, maybe 19. California, Cali girl, Valley Cali. That's what she fucking was. And she bought it, and her friends bought it too. Like, I got my pizza, and we legged it out of there before she did. She looked on her phone to see just how true this was. I mean, you can still look at your phone back in 2000 and what, 9, 8, something like that. But yeah, there is no leprechauns, alas, unless when you get little people up in outfits, or you have a sexy leprechaun outfit, which a sexy leprechaun outfit. You want to ban a leprechaun? Have you seen a leprechaun? I've also been called by girls who want to ban me, my little leprechaun. Girls who are usually about this high, maybe a little lower. If I can help it, a whole lot lower. Boots. Now, I'm not saying that happened on this trip or anything like that, but it might have in one particular place. But yeah, there are alas no leprechauns. No banshees either, unless you're talking about some lush in your housing block that just starts howling at night over bullshit. Something tells me that's not Ireland exclusive. Uh, there are plenty of people who like worship the old ways and shit, but Jesus Christ. Caroline, who's been on stream before, she's a Wiccan. She's a pagan. But it's neo paganism. And she knows it too. I captured one. I was saving him for a special occasion when I needed his wishes. Turns out it was also need food and water. Not aware of this since I only lived one. Magic. Mine starved to death. Oh well, on the plus side, you have a very easy burial. They're not very big. I can actually imagine like old 18th century, like 19th century pictures of leprechauns, like photos of them, and like all these explorers and ethnologists are standing next to them, and they're just like a little tribe of huddled poor people that all have like top hats with buckles on them, like all green. Even the women have beards. And leprechauns are well and good. We don't um, we don't really think about it all that much. Again, Americans are the ones that overly fascinate with that sort of shit. Back home, we focus, especially out in the country, we focus on the basics. Money, bills. It's a very humdrum attitude, even in a beautiful environment. Always remember that from the movie The Descendants. Like I think George Clooney says something along the lines of, "You people come and think that this it's you got no problems, no worries in paradise. Of course you do. You have bills to pay, and you get cancer. Someone cheats on you, and you're like, yeah, Ireland's pretty in the summertime and spring, but so is fucking America. And look at all the shit you guys have to put up with. There is no place on earth that is magically protected from harm from bullshit. The best you can say is that they're isolated, but even that, like the that uh missionary who went to the Indian islands that are like completely cut off. They like they have those islands have their own bullshit. They have their own power squabbles, and one guy's right now fucking someone else's wife, and maybe that culture's cool with it, but something tells me it wouldn't be. You know, they get sick and one of them drowns, or a tree falls on them. You know, like you go up to the Arctic Circle, and sure, they don't have much to worry about except for the biting cold and constantly feeding themselves. No matter where you go, there's always going to be problems. That's cool because problems are the things you overcome and then feel better for. Wow, I've actually been doing this for 2 hours now, huh? Hmm. I'll grab one more beer and then we'll end tonight. So if you got questions, do ask. Um, yeah. Actually, I'll see how many beers I have left on this Miller thing. I've got way more, but I'm probably going to leave them for either later or for some other time. There we go. Oh. A little bag left of euro coins they wouldn't take. Look at dicks. I got my sushi after. Oh, that's it for the Miller. I guess it's time now to break open one of the cans I bought earlier. Coors Banquets. Because if I'm gonna fucking live in this pissant of a country, I will drink pissant beer. That's the end result, right? Oh, I knew there was another beer. There's another beer right here. So I've got my Coors for after the stream anyway. What was the funniest bit off more than you could chew incident that you had when it came to drinking? Oh Jesus, man! That's actually a good question. The thing with alcohol is that it muddles the mind, so and your memory to boot. Let me think of. I don't know if it's the funniest. Okay. There was a time I was a part of a drinking contest, not directed at me. There was like a few of us, and I had planned this in advance. I had looked online to see how to best survive a drinking contest because it was going into spirits, and spirits and I we get along, but some people are weaned on that shit, and I just can't compete. I'm a beer man myself, so I mean, don't get me wrong. You put a shot of vodka down next to me, I will be like, there, there we are. So yeah, there was five of us, and everyone was given a shot to down first. It was Sambuca. We all agreed Sambuca would be the quickest. I'll get you drunk, but the easiest to drink. So I downed it, and I was like, whoa. That was painful. So we go around two, and I was like, whoa, painful. And it kept on doing that. And then we took a break. And I thought the break was fantastic. But three shots of Sambuca on a stomach that was empty, and I'll tell you why I picked an empty stomach. The logic. I thought if I got sick, it'd be more likely if I had something in it. That shows you I was quite young. I was probably about 19. And I downed another shot, and another, and another. And the first person went away. I thought, finally, great. Then the Sambuca was put away. I was like, what new madness is this? And what they brought out was whiskey. Now, I do not have any real history of whiskey. I've had it, you put it in front of me, I'll drink it, fine. I like whiskey. Even now, I'm thinking of it, it's giving me a bit of flashbacks. And down the first shot, went down my throat, which started to buckle like crazy. My stomach was like, whoa, no, what new thing is this? I'm struggling as it is. So I basically went, right, after the next shot, if somebody doesn't back out, I'll back out. So I down. And the girl backs out in our group. She actually backs out, goes outside, and gets sick. Shame too. Apparently, she had a brand new dress she was wearing. Seeing her get sick, I got up and I was in full sort of like, so I just sort of like, no, 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 no. And they said, what? No, 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 no. And this is pretty obvious. I don't want any more. I want to, you're going to have to say it. I'm like, no, it went all down me. It went all down me. See, when I get really, really like my throat starts reacting, my stomach starts reacting. It started to like talking becomes hard. You actually got to see it one time on stream in an early trucking stream. Look for the one right at the end where I do this and I just start slamming my fist off screen. That's basically me hitting the power button. It's like a rush in and I just vomited everywhere. That was me doing shots. That actually was also another time where I bit off more than I could chew. The crash for shot thing I used to do on the trucking simulator streams. Those were far more crap because of course every time you do a crash, you do a shot. You get drunk, you're gonna crash more often. While I'm trying to talk to the chat, first one I might hit. I'm like, I'm extra careful. Drive for a long time, hit again. Drive for time, hit again. Drive for a time, hit again. Drive. Right, done. Done. I actually turned the girl off our date on that stream. I'm not even kidding. She said, you could have just said no. And I said, I absolutely could have said no, but I was having fun. I just didn't think I'd end up getting sick everywhere. And she said, well, of course you're going to get sick. We're knocking back shots of vodka. I actually downed a whole bottle that night in an incredibly fast period of time. That was cheap shit vodka, too. Okay. No, I like beer because it's far easier to sip. I like sweet stuff because it's just pleasant. And I like gin. I don't know why. I'm really getting into gin these days. All right, so Nick will be back in about 2 hours. I'll probably want to wrap up this in a little bit. What do there? Yeah, so I'll do a stream about the same time tomorrow. Might have alcohol in me, might not. I want to thank everyone who's shown up. It has been good to talk to you all again. I have noticed a lot of ghosts popping in now, so whatever, it's all good. Hope you enjoyed it for as brief as you can. And thank you everyone who's in the chat. If you liked what you saw, to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. There is nothing in the description right now, Instagram, Streamlabs, Discord, anything like that. But when it uploads, I will go and do that. So if you're watching this at a later date, go and check it out. We have Discord. Um, over the next few days, I'll be able to post more announcements there. I also said I'd start posting pictures on Twitch from my time in New York, so expect pictures pretty soon there, maybe even tonight. But as it is, I am actually out of here because I've got stuff to clean up because I don't want to be the messy guest, and I want to play some gaming before Nick gets back. And I ask him, "How was your day, dear?" Hopefully, he comes in and goes, "It was shit. Where's dinner? Want my roast on my table when I arrive?" "Yes, dear. Of course, dear. Would you like your martini now?" "Sure, if you haven't already drank it all." Of course, I drank it all. So, yeah, with that said, I'm out. I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.